Kanye West, Yeezy. Yee. This guy in Characterology is fascinating. And if he was to sit in front of me over the years that he's progressed, from when he first started, very rigid, very schizoid, to the more sexual rejection that he's got from partners, he's moved into more of a masochistic and psychopathic state. And for those of you that haven't seen one of my Characterology videos before, the terms I'm using here are not part of the DSM-5. They're from Characterology, which is a technology that was developed by Wilhelm Reich and Alexander Lowen. And originally Wilhelm Reich. Alexander Lowen enhanced it a little bit more, and then John Parakos did some fine-tuning as well. So those terms are associated with a defense that happened in childhood, and at each stage of development, your development can be arrested. And what does that mean? It means that some life event happened to you, and the part of you that wanted to act authentically was challenged, muted, suppressed, and then repressed. And what shows up in your body is a defense for that thing, right? So, for example, if you were a child whose parents were disgusted by your bowel movements and your parents put that on you, whether it be energetically by just being disgusted. They may not have said anything, but you could just tell by who they were. They're just disgusted by poo and urine and vomit, right? And for me, all fluids are welcome. And in that, you just start to, you store this disgust in who you are as a child. Oh, my poos are disgusting. My vomit is disgusting. And that proclivity to repress all that just flows into adulthood, which will get reinforced in school, reinforced at whatever other education that you do, reinforced in the workplace, which culminates in your relationships, where a lot of this Characterology stuff is exposed. So I see relationships are a catalyst to discovering who you really are at the core. If you want to do that, you don't have to. You can just back-to-back relationships like Kanye does. So back to Kanye. So right now, if I'm looking at his picture from 2009, rigid, phallic, rigid. And I've got to Google Kanye's timeline, Kanye's image over time. And hopefully someone's done this. Hopefully someone has created, here we go, photos from Kanye West through the years. Thank goodness. Here you go, 2002. Yeah, interesting. 2002, Damon Dash? Oh, shit. I'm pretty sure he was with Kardashian, Damon Dash. So Kanye, I can see like a shoot in 2002. This is ghetto vibes, like angry at the world. Oh, wow. Rosario Dawson. Wow. Mad schizoid. 2003, like Kanye is much softer here. See 2003, a bit softer here. There's an image here. Rosario Dawson, Kanye. He could be drunk or just could be soft. 2004 starts becoming a little bit more eccentric. I can see his rigidity is starting to become a little bit masochistic and psychopathic. So masochistic psychopath. London, 2004. What's going on with his canine incisors down here or whatever. Sadness, Louis Vuitton, doing that hand thing again. College dropout, 2004. A little bit unsure of himself. Yeah, cool. On the stage, you can see he just owns the stage, right? There's something about he just knows where he is. He knows his place. He can trust himself on the stage. Because in 2004 again, March 2004, is getting a little more confident in the studio. Rick James and Bump J. Okay, cool. Rick James. Can see a little bit of Rick James. Fuck. That dude. He's not even there. Fuck me. So 2004, Kanye's covering his balls. So for me, someone's doing that he's afraid of his phallicness. So what I can see here is there's more, either he's afraid because Rick James is in the room, something else is going on there, this insecurity, being able to cover up his masculinity. 2005, Jesus Walks, 2005. Yeah, okay, cool. Here we go. A Hollywood party in California, Kanye and Nelly. When I look at Nelly, he just owns the space, right? Nelly, he's got this embodiment of like, I know who I am, I don't give a f. Kanye tries a little bit too hard here. So this could be where the passive feminine, so Kanye, passive feminine, starts to boil in a bit more. Kanye and Tom, what I'm seeing more and more here as I progress through these photos, 2006. There's 40 photos here. I'm going to go through all of them. So you can sit with me to this or you can skip to some other bit. But this is important because I'm getting a timeline of who he is. Kanye and Tom Cruise. So again, Tom's just having fun. Kanye, what it looks like here, Kanye doesn't really have an identity of his own. So he's always trying to push the limit to discover who he is, but doesn't really know who he is at the core. Kanye, 2000, Paris Fashion Week, in some skeleton outfit. Kanye with kids, 2006. Prince Harry, P. Diddy, man, completely different vibes. P. Diddy's like owns the space. Kanye, Alexis Pfeiffer, Courtney Love, 2007. Kanye taking a photo with his phone. Again, status. This is status. Mask over his head, 2008. Louis Vuitton backpack. So trying too hard, right? 2008 with Jay-Z and Marc Jacobs. So Jay-Z is just himself. Again, this is really interesting. Like Jay-Z is himself, but he doesn't look like he's there again. Like he's there and he isn't there. Like, what am I doing here? And Kanye is trying hard, just trying too hard, like leaning into Marc Jacobs. Marc Jacobs is as solid, is a bit shorter than both of them. But Jacobs is solid. Like he's got a purpose. He knows who he is. Like he's established. 2009, still a bit of a kid. 2009, Taylor Swift, best female video. And this event when Kanye jumps on stage, right? This is such a fascinating interaction, right? And I mentioned before about hysterical females. Taylor Swift, hysterical female, and mad schizoid as well. But hysterical female at the core with schizoid traits. So trying to explain a concept to her that she needs to like ground in herself, she wouldn't want to do it. And the hysterical female component, always needing to look good on the outside, forever achieving, some people taking her for granted. There's that theme again, right? And because she's not taken seriously, energetically in who she is, Kanye. Like if she really embodied who she was and she wasn't looking outside for perfection, outside for validation, Kanye wouldn't have been up on that stage because Kanye's always looking for validation as well, right? He wants to be the one. He probably made, this is what I reckon happened. I'd say that he made this mad confession to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get this video because of this. You know, he's disappointed. He gets triggered because he's outsourced his validity to Jay-Z and Beyonce, and he's got to make it right. He's got to make it right. And this is the schizoid part of Kanye. It is now the schizoid traits, you'll get mad downloads for songs, mad downloads for lyrics, but also in the context of social etiquette. There's no social etiquette. He just does his thing, you know, with that confidence of the phallic, just does the things. 2010, Louis Vuitton, mad rings on his finger. Kim Kardashian looking just that she needs to look at the way she does. Kanye cannot match Kim. There's no way. Energetically, she's the potent one. Miranda Kerr, Kanye, Chanel Iman. Like Kanye, like Miranda Kerr, solid. I'd say she's quite an integrated. She's more rigid than hysterical. I'll be curious to do one on her. Just looking at her energy there, she's just there for her. Not looking to please anybody else. She's just there for her. I'm curious about her relationships. Kanye, so he's dazzled out of his mind. Kanye and Jay-Z. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful photo. So this is a photo of Kanye and Jay-Z accepting the award for the video of the year in 2012. And there's something between Kanye and Jay-Z. There's like a real bro type connection there. And I bet they'd have some secrets, those two boys. Because Jay-Z, they both got this masochistic side to them. This is the passive feminine man component of their relationship. Well, I bet they bitched about Kim and Beyonce. I put money down that there'll be conversations about their partners. Like, oh, you know this. Oh, you know that. And that's a passive feminine man will do that. Because Beyonce and Kim, they had the balls in their relationships. You can quite clearly see they own the space, right? Kim, Kanye, Halloween party, Miami Beach. Looks like fun. Don't know about Kanye though. In the Batman suit. Kim's loving it. I see something's off about Kanye. Doesn't feel comfortable. And then maybe Kim wanted him to wear it and he didn't want to wear it. Kim and Kanye in Paris, 2014. I don't know what the transition of their relationship was, but there's an issue going on here. Something is wrong in their relationship. Something's up. There's conversations that they had either before or after or around this, and just how the energy in that shot, something's off. 2014, Paris. Kim's got baby in arms. That's a nice shot, but I see a disconnection between the two of them. Kim and Kanye don't seem together. There's not a willingness to explore what's there. And I'm assuming Kim's already planning an exit strategy right now. Kanye's just a sperm donor to her energetically. I don't think Kanye really took on board. Oh, I wonder if Kanye smokes weed. Just checking. Unlike other rappers and musicians who are unabashed smokers, marijuana is one of the few things that Kanye is kind of discreet about. Yeah, I don't know. Because what I'm seeing here, because if he does, like it'll arrest his emotional development, right? So basically anyone that smokes weed, it'll arrest your emotional development. If you're watching this right now and you smoke weed, just fucking stop. If it's a medical thing, okay, fine. If you do it for recreational, what are you doing? It'll fuck up your relationships, fuck up your connection to your emotions. You might think that you're more creative when you're on weed. You're not. You're not. You're pretending. It's a mask. So if you're on weed for recreational purposes, get the fuck off it because, like, grow up. Like, grow up. Now, Yeezus tour in Sydney, 2014. Runway, 2015. Yeah, it's performative. Lord, Christian Dior show, 2015. All right. Doctorate Art Institute. Happy Boy, Kanye West, Taylor Swift. Interesting. Yeah, you can really see the masochism start to show on Kanye, 2015. Masochism is like a chubby, fat. Sexuality gets suppressed, discussed, low sexual charge. 2016, LA Lakers, Gala Met, rigidity. 2016, yeah, more masochism. Kanye and Trump, 2016, more masochism. 2017, yeah, more masochism. Yeah, cool. 40th, okay, cool. 40 photos. So what I'm seeing here is him progressing more and more into psychopathy and masochism. So the images that I saw today of his new partner, interesting. I was looking at his kid. Yeah, he's a skid. Yeah, interesting. As a kid, schizoid. Is that? You are some really old one. Yeah, interesting. There's a handsome days, school days, schizoid rigid. And then when he started to rap, wow, schizoid rigid again. Yeah, very schizoid rigid. Plastic surgery. Interesting. Ooh, I didn't even know this. 2007. His mum died unexpectedly following complications with plastic surgery. So what I see here, right, is he gave his mum money and well, of course, this is all fucking conjecture. A lot of the stuff that I create here is based on what I see, using characterology as a reference, seeing potential patterns where I see them, and please disagree with me. And I'll most likely reply to you in the comment just calling you a dickhead. So in that, what I see with his mum, he gave his mum money. She got on the mad plastic. Oh, interesting. This ties in with Kim. Appearance. So money and wealth is a volume control on the shadow. So if you haven't got your shit sorted and you get a wealth injection, it turns up what is in your unconscious, in your shadow. So what I'm seeing here with his mum is him always wanting to save his mum. I'm Kanye's dad. Kanye's dad. Trying to save your mum, and then trying to save his mum, and then giving his mum money. Mum goes and gets plastic surgery, and then she dies. So I think that there's a solid case there for he hasn't grieved. He blames himself for his mum's death at some level, right? So Ray West is his father's name. 45 years, super educated. His dad's educated. So his dad done a lot of things. Black Panthers, wanted to help ex-drug addicts, and Kanye and his dad weren't always close, but once his mum passed, they grew closer. Kanye attempted to connect with his dad, especially after he overcame cancer. It took me 42 years to realize that my dad was my best friend. All right, great. So happy Disney stories. What's missing there is his rage. So, and this is what creates the passive feminine man, is the rage towards the dad. So I'm assuming that when Kanye was doing his thing, so part of this is his achiever, his schizoid rigid from his days back in school. Schizoid rigid, the days back in school, his dad encouraged him to do that at some level. He wanted to be following his dad's footsteps. Realized that's what he wanted to do, and he was a really good rapper, so he followed in that rapper's path. Dad probably getting up him that all rappers end up dead. Blah 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 blah. Bonded more with his mum because of that. Dad went off and did his own thing, and then Kanye, deep down, upset that his dad didn't accept him and love him for who he was, which creates the split in the passive feminine man, where his dad is better than him. His dad is stronger than him. His dad's more embodied than he is. So he's trying to overcompensate, runs into mummy's arms. Mummy suffocates him and creates more of this masochistic ball handling. So his mum effectively smothers him into a cuck. So in that, you can see that with a pattern with Kanye's relationships. Powerful women who he can't hold because he's still in love with his mum. And this is a nice guy thing. And Kanye is a perfect nice guy where he has this outer projection of all this confidence, but really deep down, he's a boy, right? And what commonly happens with nice guys is he's unable to be aggressive to his partners and hold them to task because they hold the balls. is a monogamous. He still has a monogamous relationship with his mum, even though she's dead. Doesn't matter when anyone. This is the thing, guys. This needs to land. It doesn't matter if someone's dead. If the relationship is incomplete, it will still persist into your other relationships. That really needs to land. Just because they're dead doesn't mean the pattern isn't still playing out. So, with Kanye, what I see here is that he's still more in love with his mum because his mum loved him like no other woman could. So he keeps being with women who don't love him for who he is. He feels the resentment and the reject. He recoils from his sexuality. He can't be a man in the relationship. So he just ends up leaving energetically and physically. Or what I think is more accurate is that the partner just gets sick of him and throws him out, which Kim is the kind of woman that would do that. She's the one that has a career. She's externally or extrinsically motivated to make sure that she looks good, her business is good, that her family and kids are set up for the future. And if Kanye is going to hold that up, out. So modern pictures of Kanye. Let's go. Kanye today. Kanye today. Like his new partner looks like a dude. Bianca Censori. Like there was a joke, the meme that was going around. Looks like the guy from, I can't remember his name. Like I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I had that meme. But yeah, like she, again, this obsession with women who have a younger upper body and a mature lower body. Like her boobs are huge. She carries a huge sexual charge. I'm assuming the relationship will work for a bit. She looks a little bit terrified, a little bit schizoidal. Then him, mad masochistic. This is a photo of him, beard covering up possibly a second or third chin. Like the dude is unhappy. He's fucking sad and is unwilling to go through it all. Right. And this is classic of the passive feminine man. Right. And this is what I'll finish with. Like he is a passive feminine man. And if he really wanted to move through this, if I was his therapist, I'd need to help him access the rage that he has towards his mum and his dad. And in that, culturally, and in that, for most passive feminine men, they don't want to own the rage that they have towards their parents, especially their mum. They tend to put their mum on a pedestal. And he might say, I'm not angry at my mum. How could you ask me to be angry at my mum? She's dead, right? So all this drama will come out. But what's locked in his jaw, I wonder if he grinds his teeth. Does Kanye have jaw issues? Oh, that's right. He's got his jaw wired shut. I forgot about that. So I don't know what else is going on with his jaw. If he's healed or if he has like TMJ or something else. But his jaw seems to be this thing that he does. Like he juts out his jaw as this pose. So, excuse me. If I was working with Kanye, I'd be massaging his jaw, getting out some of this tension, getting to make some sound from what's going on in his jaw. Right? And if you're feeling this right now too, why don't you have a go? Just be careful. Don't hurt yourself. And if you do hurt yourself, it's on you. Take some ownership of your life. And what I see with Kanye, what else he'd need help with is being able to speak to what he wants sexually. And so what happens with the passive feminine man, he can push his sexual desires away, fantasize about other people, dip into porn, and then whenever he is around powerful women, he'll cover his balls. It just naturally happens. When he's around powerful women and men, he'll just cover up his, his pee-pee, because someone could take it from him. It could be his mum, could be his dad. But in that, what'll show up for him, he won't be. He's performative confidence, right? It's performative confidence, which is why people don't take him serious either. Right? He's not embodied. He's disembodied. He's out of integrity. He's a man who is just a little bit. This schizoidal part of him comes in, and I'd be curious to see if he smokes dope. I tell him to stop. Don't pick up another joint again. If he's on edibles, get the fuck off. If he's on any sort of stimulant, if he's on coffee or anything, get him off. Human design, he's also a projector. So making sure that he's not having any kind of stimulants. Stimulants will push him into energy depletion. It'll give him the illusion that he has more energy than what he has, and that'll show up in his relationships. Technically, projectors aren't really supposed to have kids, but they can be conditioned to have kids based on whatever your family dynamics are. And maybe you want them. It really boils down to you. Can you trust yourself? Do you know how to trust yourself? If you don't, I can help you with that. So the last piece for the passive feminine man is really being able to take his balls back from his mum and his dad. Being able to energetically kill this part of him that was repressed by his parents. Whether or not they actually did that or how it was received, that really boils down to Kanye's relationship with his parents and always wanting to be this good boy on the outside, like the rigid piece, trying to be all together. When he attempts to break out of that, being overly performative, it's not him. He's just rebelling. It's a teenage injury. He still doesn't really know who he is. Kanye does not know who he is. Just let that land. He doesn't. He's afraid to discover who he really is at the core because he'd need to address all of the rage that he suppressed through his experience with his mum and his dad, that becoming something that he wasn't, becoming something that he thought that he needed to be, even in the rap world, trying to break the mold. And while this might make incredible music and it speaks to people, deep down, the artist is suffering. And suffering artists make good music. And that's what I'll finish with. So this part of him, the passive feminine man, is all in the gut and the pelvis. And you'll see Kanye's gut's going to get bigger. You watch. It'll get bigger and bigger because, like I mentioned before, the older you get, the more your injuries are exposed until you want to deal with them. All right. Thank you for listening to all of this if you got to the end. And like I said, I'm not interviewing Kanye. He's not in front of me. I'm just using the information that intuitively comes to me from what I know about characterology, what I've just searched for on the internet. I hope this has been entertaining for you. That's the main purpose of these. And if you like it, share it, put a comment below, and mad love. Bye.